I welcome you all once again. As usual, I want us to keep going into the Word of God. I want to keep teaching us some of the little things that will help us to understand exactly what we ought to do, especially at this point in time. Certainly, I was talking about Peter Obi, the Prince of Persia. But while I have not concluded that, there is one important message I want to drop before I continue, because on that particular one, we must keep going gradually until I will be able to open your eyes to see certain things that you must need to see. Having said that, I want to introduce the topic. It's a topic I've titled, Know What You Want. Know what you want. I think life itself is all about people who know what they want. It takes knowing what you want to as well endure that which you have to pass through to get to the point at which you could get what you want. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. For the salvation that was set before him, he endured the cross. I found out that in life, when you know what you want, you are more determined to endure challenges against all odds, to endure and persevere kind of obstructions on your way to destiny than the other person who doesn't know what he wants. You can cheaply or easily give up. For instance, there are two people I know in the Bible that really show some element of strength about what they want. And that is what I want to read. Let us go into the book of the Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter number 15, verse number 22. I want to start. I want to read through verse number 26. But I'm starting on verse number 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Verse number 23 said, But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away. For she cried after us. She cried after one person, but here they've turned it to us. Verse 20 number 4 said, But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Verse number 25 said, Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said in verse 26, it is not meet to take children's bread and to cast it to dogs. Verse number 26. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take children's bread and to cast it to dogs. But listen to verse number 27. And she said, truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. I want to end it here. This is exactly a good example of people who know what they want. This is exactly the type of people and the type of attitude that belongs to people that knows what they want. And as if that is not enough, because it's not enough to know what you want, but it's so much enough to know how to go about it to get at what you want. And that's exactly what this woman has done. For goodness sake, Christ has just called this woman a dog. For obvious reasons, Christ himself has just called this woman a dog. And there are so many implications to what dog symbolizes. For instance, emotionally, dogs are the kind of animal that we can say that it lives a double standard kind of life. Emotionally, dogs are said to be a double standard living kind of animal. But spiritually, dog is also said to be something that is defied. Something you can say is not good enough to be called clean, as an unclean kind of animal. That is what dog represents. But let me say something about the emotional side. There are two types of things that are bitterly sweet concerning dog. Emotionally, dog living a double standard life. Dog is a quarrelsome animal. Dog is a controversial animal. Dog is a kind of a blasphemy animal. Dog can blaspheme you or blackmail you. I think the word blackmail is the correct one. Dog can blackmail you, is quarrelsome. Dog is blunt. As one of the attributes that are also very good about dog, he is a blunt person. He is frank. Dog can tell you truth in a very hard way. The same dog that is also a black male. But also there are some other things that are very good about dog. Dog is friendly. The same controversial animal. Dog is lovely. Dog is flexible. The same frank animal. So dog is something that you can't really quantify the way it has chosen. Then now, these are some of the dirty part of dog. Dog is shameless, and dog also is sexually unsatisfied animal, and an animal that is so not ashamed that it can have sex with anybody and in any place. These are some of the emotional side of dogs that are not okay. And I think these are some of the reasons also why spiritually dog is seen as something that is unclean. But I don't want to start mentioning so many things about dog. I think I want to say Christ has just called this woman a dog, and it has some of these little implications that I have said. How many of us will endure without reciprocating the insult? So now, many of us wouldn't hesitate to kind of tread back the insults. What Christ was trying to tell that young lady, so far as I'm concerned, he was trying to tell the young lady that miracles are not for people like you because you don't even know what you want. Miracles are for the children of the kingdom of God. Miracles are for righteous people. Miracles are for born again. Miracles are for this or that. Miracles are for confident people, dedicated children of God. Miracles are these people who know the God they worship, who know the God they serve. Not somebody who will say God with his lips, but at the end of the day, at the backyard, he's doing so many other dirty things all together. As much as he has just finished that, the woman didn't say, is it your mother that you are calling a dog? Or is it your senior sister that you are calling a dog? Or your younger sister you are calling a dog? So if you see your mother, you call him a dog. He didn't try to quarrel, he didn't try to kind of argue. But she rather said something very striking. He said, truth, my Lord. Everything you said is just as truth. I am unclean. I did not deserve your miracle by right. Let us tell ourselves some truth. Because just like exactly the way you have said it, I'm not 2% righteous. Out of 100%, I merely come to church every Sunday. When I go back home, I could hardly even remember to come back to the church within the week. I move away and continue to enjoy life from one club to another with my boyfriends. I hardly remembered I am a Christian until the next Sunday. I hardly remember to pray in my house. But it doesn't stop the fact that I know that I have this problem. And for goodness sake, my Lord, some of us that are still at this level of Christianity, living like a baby in the Christendom, who doesn't know their left from the right or the right from the left, depend on some of you people who have been so anointed for our interventions. And I think that is one of the best way to get what you want. Persistence. You can call it persistency or persuasive, being persuasive. The attitude of not giving up. The attitude of being rational and logical about how to get what you want. The character of being flexible. The attitude of devising a manipulations and a manipulative means to get exactly that which you want. Diction lady, so far as she is concerned, she is looking for results. She hasn't come to make an unnecessary debate. There is something I tell people in life. I used to tell few of my friends that I've known, when occasion arises that they call my attention for one thing or the other. And many times when I look into their cases, I do find out that what they are lacking is strategy. And strategy at times doesn't mean that you don't know it. But many times it means more that we don't want to make use of it because it is coming from the side that we need to swallow some element of pride. But I've said to so many of them that in nature, one of the most double standard life I've lived so far is being naturally a very humble fellow, but at the same time one of the most classical, controversial individual that you can never come across. But you could hardly know that because I like to play the simplicity in me to the least possible that I could be able to afford. You match my feet, it could be 3 times. I need to believe, and I don't need to pretend. I need to believe that you don't know that you match my feet. Because many times it is said that when you want to catch a monkey, you behave like a monkey. A lot of times flaming up are the most simplest thing that can be actually simply resolved. It's not making someone or sometimes not making us strong, but more of the time trying to expose our weaknesses. I'm just like trying to outplay some element of flexibility. It doesn't really mean quote unquote the way I'm saying it. It's applicable depending on what actually is playing at that moment. But let me tell us something. Some of the problems we have is we don't really know how to get what we want. Because in the first place, we don't know what we want. As soon as you know what you want, right inside that thing that you are very sure that you want, there is always in the same thing another content that will expose to you how to go about it to get what you want. A certain woman lost her husband and people came to take her land and properties that her husband left for her to take care of herself and the children, for instance. This woman had no money to hire a lawyer, but it doesn't allow that simple deficiency of not having money or that kind of discrepancy to kind of suppress him from looking out to make sure that he get exactly what he wants. This woman could trek to the nearest chamber of one of those barristers to make complaint without money. He didn't refuse not to go the next day. He took bath and continued, and he kept going until it became obvious that he couldn't see favor because it takes money to hire a lawyer. But let me tell you something, the woman didn't just come back home and relaxed and said, well, so be it. Since I have no alternative, maybe it's the will of God. He didn't say that. He left the lawyer, he went to judge. For instance, if a lawyer could not solve your problem, is it judge that could now listen to you? But in the same mannerism, he continued to go to the judge's office on a daily basis until even the judge himself found out that he is more greater trouble than the woman himself because the woman couldn't allow him to rest. This is how people solve problems. And these are some of the people who know what they want. If you know what you want, you will possibly have an attitude that shows you know what you want. When you don't know what you want, there is an attitude right inside you that reflects that you don't know what you want. Many times we keep shouting, "All hail Biafra! All hail Mazen Namdekano! All hail IPOB!" Are you sure you know what you are shouting? There are sometimes you do some things that contradict what you say. It looks as if you are making ridicule of yourself. We open our mouth wide, we say, "All hail IPOB, all hail Biafra, all hail Mazen Namdekano, all hail so person and that persons." And the same thing you are hailing is exactly the same thing you have stood against. Is that an attitude of someone who knows what he wants and who knows what he is set to achieve? It's not an attitude of a person who knows what he wants. And let me tell you something that I keep saying many times. Repeatedly, I've said it in 2 or 3 of my videos. I'm very sure about that. If you don't know what you want, you will never know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, you will misinterpret your values. And when once you misinterpret your value, you have misinterpreted your destiny. Therefore, you definitely misapplicate yourself. And misapproachment of how to go about things concerning your destiny to become a reality is inevitable. Today, so many number of us have with our mouth shout a lot of 1,000 times, all hell Biafra, all hell IPOB, all hell this and all hell that. As a good Biafran nationalist and as a professional identified IPOB, but for goodness sake, what are we doing with the Nigerian PVC in our hands? Most especially when the all-hell mighty Nnamdi Kanu, the leader so far so good of your freedom fighting, is still being squeezed with the same Nigerian DSS and federal government. I think somebody is either drunk and has not gotten out of the drunkenness, or somebody is typically severely mad. Because there are some things that when they begin to happen, you don't just want to believe that this is all about somebody who doesn't know what he wants, like the way I've been saying it. But you can as well perceive some element of craziness, some element of mental illness. This is exactly a tool standing of one particular person. One person is standing here and standing there. And there is no other thing the Bible called idolatry than this, which I'm telling you. When you are not here and when you are not there, it is called an idolatry. And that's exactly what Christ means when he said, if you are not cold or hot, but decide to be lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth. May God have mercy upon us. In a nutshell, I want to say it is time for us, as Biafrans, whether you call yourself an IPOB or whatever thing you call yourself, to start thinking and start thinking very fast. Because some of the thinking I mean here are the ones that if peradventure you think when it is late, even your good thought could not be able to deliver you. I think something is wrong somewhere. We gotta begin to think fast so that we can take as well fast actions. There is no time. No matter how you look at it, there is no time. Some things are really happening fast behind you. Though we are not shaky, because we know that some people are acting drama, or what I call Indian movie. Yes, Indian movie, there is nothing you cannot expect. Indian movie is a place that you see what I particularly call the exaggeration of the hyperbole. As in the hyperbole himself being exaggerated. So anything can happen in Indian movie. In fact, that is why it is Indian movie. If it's not like that, it's not an Indian movie anyway. But it doesn't mean that we should remain stupid and keep being stupid. If not, we will regret it when it is late. Think twice. If you are a Biafran, at this point in time, that it has become too obvious that Nigeria can never and will never do you any good, irrespective of who is going to be his president or her president. Whether it is somebody they just get back to you from same mother and same father, then the next time they get back to him. In fact, I can assure you that it is some person that will kill you. Yes, because a man's enemy is a member of his household. If Christ said it, then it is true. That a man's enemy shall be the member of his household. And of course, if that is not true, how can the Biafran, after suffer for 1 year lockdown of 1 day in every week, and sometimes more than that, and the whole world have celebrated you, said this is one of those times you have shown worthiness as for one who knows what he wants, and that you have exactly gotten what you want. All of a sudden, a member of your own household wake up suddenly and begin to thwart it. And you, out of foolishness, ignorance, begin to dance to the tune. The most painful part of it is even our own soldiers, called IPOB, people who took oath never to jeopardize or never to take steps on anything that will jeopardize the actualization of Biafra. And that is exactly where they are, swimming like an ocean right now. Will I say infiltratively or ignorantly? I don't know. And many times it is bitter and too bitter that we are even doing that and be pointing hand to someone whom the gospel of the kingdom is still in his mouth. Christ said, go ye into the house of the 12 tribes of the lost, 12 lost tribes of the house of Israel, and say, preach the gospel, saying, the kingdom of God is at hand. Say to the Gentiles and Samaritans, you shouldn't go. But many of us are right inside in the house of the Gentiles right now, and right inside the Samaritan houses, preaching the gospel, telling them that the kingdom of God is at hand. Know yourself before some things become too late. Thank you.